Friends, happy Friday. I hope that you have all had a wonderful week. Today we actually have the joy of participating in the farewell presentation for Father Umflett from last Sunday. So while we only could have a limited number of people present for our outdoor service, it was recorded, this portion, for your enjoyment at home. But before we get to that, I'd like to draw your attention to the e-news which went out this morning. There are upcoming opportunities for Bible study, ways to plug in with the friendship table, and you can follow their Facebook page, opportunities for children and youth, and much more going on at this exciting time at St. Mary's, a time of transition and new possibilities and listening for the voice of God in our season of discernment. And so, without further ado, I hope you enjoy the special presentation from last Sunday's Eucharist.
We joined the presentation with Senior Warden David Moore, who paid tribute to the ways in which the Reverend David Umflett enhanced and built up the body of St. Mary's, not only spiritually, but physically.
That are physical, the big ones being the facilities that have been added over the last 11 years under your leadership. Yes, I get it. You're going to say it takes this parish to do that. Yes, I get it. You're going to say it takes the leadership and vision of Glenn Bush to pull that dream out of us and get it on paper so that it can start to be realized. But it takes a perception of positive future parish health to give the confidence our parishioners need to share their resources to make this dream come true. And you bring that positive perception of future parish health. It wouldn't have happened without you. There are legacies that are within us, legacies that are sparked by your passions rubbing off on us and sticking. Passions that we learn together and broaden our understanding of different perspectives and change our internal attitudes, changing the culture of our parish, impacting the community around us, impacting our diocese, and I don't know how far beyond. So because of your sticky passions, moving forward, we will not be filling your shoes because your shoes will be walking with us. I want to highlight some of your passions. First, there's your passion for inclusivity, welcoming all into this church who want to glorify God regardless of whatever, and highlight your celebration of same-sex marriage. I've never thought it was wrong, but I wasn't sure if it was right in the eyes of the church. But you have broadened our horizons and brought in our face examples with Larry and David and Gus and Jonathan of the wonderful things those relationships can do for our parish, all to glorify God. There's your passion to shine a light on, without fear, the plight of those suffering from social injustice. Your passion for the Palestinians, their problem being a cancerous growth on the face of the country of Israel, which is so evident if you travel to the Holy Land. Their story is not told enough. It's overshadowed by national security discussion, but you tell it, and it's sticky, especially I feel it. There's your diving in recently and bringing parishioners with you into Black Lives Matter and reading and better broadening your understanding of the different perspective of that movement, changing your internal attitude, changing, hopefully, culture. There is your passion for music and your commitment to maintaining the excellence in music programming that this parish wants and expects, and your insight to understanding the people and financial resources that are necessary for that type of programming, and securing the blessing of Charles Hogan, securing and planting the seed of a music endowment, and securing the funds to cover that programming for the next 8 years, to allow that seed of that endowment to grow and bring programming to many future generations of St. Marians. And lastly, there's your passion for the Holy Land and the idea of pilgrimage that you have brought to this parish. The idea of going there physically. It's grueling physically, it's grueling mentally, it can even be grueling spiritually, but you bring it because it's so meaningful, and we see it in your passion. And that is so contagious, it's gone out into the parish, to the diocese as well, and will continue to grow, I'm sure, because it remains within you. There are little pieces of the Holy Land throughout our parish property that will always be reminders of you. One I want to highlight, and I don't know the backstory here, so I'll need you to just quickly share it just because it's pertinent to this presentation, but it's the story of the inspiration for the interior design of the Christ the King Chapel and the Community Life Center. Can you share that story of your inspiration for that design?
Well, we had some furniture that was sitting in a storage spot that the bishop said we could have, and we said, awesome. So then we had to figure out a room that could hold it, and so we used the things that had been given to us. We had them refinished. We had some other parts added to it, so it was good stewardship of resources. It was recycling. It was wonderful. Those things came to us already saturated with prayer and helped facilitate that for our own use. And the stars on the ceiling are an ancient and very customary treatment of ceilings in churches and chapels. You'll find them the world over. And I love them. Those are real gold leaf that are stenciled on the ceiling. And over there in the chapel, you'll see that they're, although the artist used a stencil, so they are sort of regularized throughout the main space, the idea is that they're more chaotic. And as soon as they get over Jesus' head in that extra little space, they become rigidly aligned in a geometric pattern. That idea of order coming out of chaos. And our lives centered in Christ are ones that will find order and rest and peacefulness. And the stars themselves are always a reminder that what we celebrate there in the Eucharist is of cosmic proportions. That when we step into worship, we step out of time and we step into forever. And so they're there as a visual reminder of that foreverness, that foretaste of the great heavenly banquet that we celebrate even now, even out here under this porch, wherever it may be, in a yard, in a home, in a hospital room. We're joining with the angels and archangels and all the company of heaven. So that's why the stars are there. So thanks for letting me get them put up there.
Lovely. So that holy space is special because it's your design. And along those lines, we, as on behalf of the parish, wanted to create a gift for you to remember us by, as well as a gift for us to remember and honor you. Carol Ann is heading up that effort for us, and I'm going to let her share the vision of that gift since it's not quite ready because this has happened in such a short time.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, David. Some of what my remarks have just been said, but I will share with you what I've prepared for this day. In the few short weeks since David's announcement, the vestry has been scrambling to come up with a way to honor him for all that he has done with and St. Mary's for almost 11 years. Many times a rector's accomplishments cannot be quantified or illuminated, but we did find a way. In 2007, 2 years before David was called to St. Mary's, the parish began a capital campaign to build what is now called the Community Life Center and to raise and rebuild the education building behind which we sit today. The Condon family pledged to match every dollar raised up to $3 million, and we made slow and steady progress toward that goal. Shortly after David came, the family decided that they would give the parish the money needed to build and furnish the Community Life Center, and that the other money pledged by parishioners could go toward this building. Jeff and I happened to know in advance. The Congdon family gathered us, asked us to come for dinner to tell us what they had decided to do. We came. They told us about the gift. Jeff and I both cried, as I'm about to do now. But what a fabulous gift. So we knew about the gift before we could tell you. Our brand new early 30s rector was not just our spiritual leader. When we were able to let him know about the Congdon's gift, he donned his clerical collar and his hard hat as plans were made and construction began. Parishioner John Wall served as our lay foreman of the project across the street, and Beth Penley and Audrey Harris and David were the project managers. Each of them spent countless hours overseeing the project. Leo, who was the contractor's foreman, had names for each of them. Beth was uh-oh, Audrey was oh no, and David was oh God. Leo tried to run whenever he saw that threesome coming. David's particular passion was the design and furnishing of space we now know as the Chapel of Christ the King. David was involved in every aspect of the chapel, from the wooden chairs and the risen Christ crucifix that the diocese gave us, to the hangings that were repurposed from the nave, to the icons that were created by David's friend, an elderly priest in the Holy Land, to the hand-painted gold leaf stars on the ceiling. So this is the thing that we decided we could quantify and illuminate. Like the stars on the ceiling that begin in chaos at the back of the chapel and achieve pattern and focus only as you face the risen Christ. So David has led us these years. We will frame the picture of his choice for your new office or your home, and a plaque will be placed at the entrance to the chapel, which reads, "With gratitude for the Reverend David Alton Umflett, who served this parish from November 1st, 2009 until September 13th, 2020, and whose vision and leadership led to the creation of this sacred space." So that it wouldn't get wet. This is a mock-up.
Oh,
David Jones took these pictures.
oh, beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, thanks, friend. Thank you. That's more than generous.
Thank you, David. We love you and Godspeed. We will miss you.
Thank you, David. Air hugs. Air hugs. I love you all, and I'm thankful for you.